Hey everyone, so in this video we're going to be talking about mood and tone. Now with mood and tone, it's important to note that they are all about your feelings, all about how you're feeling or someone else is feeling. And you use these terms all the time, like, well, your parents will say like, don't take that tone with me, or, oh my gosh, you're in such a mood right now. So mood and tone, I'm right here and I'm right here. Mood and tone both help develop the meaning of a story. And although mood and tone are related, they are not the same thing. And so we're going to talk about what that means about them not being the same thing here. So tone is the attitude, the author of the author towards a subject. Now, the thing about tone is authors always are going to have a tone. Okay. I think they're a lot clearer in nonfiction texts than they are sometimes in fiction text. The author's tone, like if they're writing a horrible article about a politician they don't like, or about something that, a war that they don't like, or something, a food that they don't like, or a food that they love, or a singer that they love, or a sports team that they love, it's going to come across very obviously their tone towards that subject. But in fiction, sometimes it's a little bit harder to figure out how do they feel about what it is they're talking about. But tone is used to create meaning for you, the reader. Now, it's done in a lot of different ways, but that's the overall idea there. Now, with tone, okay, it is often the tone described using an adjective. Now, I'm going to show you all a list of the words. Now, they're not any adjective pretty much can work. You can make an argument, okay? But these are some right here. There are many more. I actually have a list of here's all these positive tone words, neutral tone words, negative tone words. I'm going to print them out, and as well as the mood ones. They're going to be very similar because the words are similar. They're adjectives. So it's not like we can change and come up with new adjectives. It's just different adjectives for different feelings and different emotions and stuff like that. So that's not what I want. Whatever. It is a way for the writer to shape you, the reader's experience. And that's where it kind of is going to start to come out in the fiction. It's just the way they are writing the story. It's going to play a part in how you are feeling as you are reading it. Now, there are three steps to identify theme. I'm sorry, just the way that this worked out, it's kind of back and forth. You really got to work with me. So 3 ways to identify theme right here. So the first way that we can do it is you can examine the word choice and phrases. And a lot of times this is the easiest way. They'll come out with words very, very obviously if they hate something or if they love something. Okay, so the language really works a lot of the times to show if they like or dislike something. Does the author, again, use positive words in phrases or negative ones? And that's really going to help you. Again, way more obvious when it comes to nonfiction, but it still shows up in fiction because you still have to have a tone and mood in fiction. And then look how, and this is where it is. How does an author describe? This is where you're really going to see the fiction, obviously, because this is really just fiction. The setting, a character, or an event. And sometimes you come right out and say, this event is stupid, or this character is stupid, or this thing is annoying, or something like that, and it's super obvious that, or I'm in love with this. So how does the character feel? How does the author, what's the tone towards it? Well, we love this character, right? And so that makes us start to love the character, or we hate this character, or we make this character seem evil or dark or unforgiving, and then we start to feel that way towards that character. So just discuss at your table if an author was writing a biography of a president, what would their tone be like if they agreed with the president? You're going to type that right here. Okay, again, you have a tone and mood list here. So positive is what we're looking for because we agree with that president, right? And then the same thing here for negative. Negative is if they disagreed with it, right? Doubtful, sarcastic, condescending, conceited, apprehensive. What's a good word here that we can use on both sides of those things? Okay, so fill in those two things. Now we're going to jump back. We're going to jump again down here to let's try tone. Now, I'm not going to read these, but you have two short passages, one about, both about Julia, all right, and you're going to read both of them, and on the line provided, which is not the best line, you're going to write out what you think the tone is, and then underline any words that helped you find the tone, and then I will check it over once you bring your notes up for me to see. I'll see what you underlined, and then what you wrote as your mood and tone. Sorry, what you wrote as your tone word. Now, again, I'm sorry for jumping around. It's just how it had to work out. Up here, we're back to mood. So mood, and they're very similar. This is the feeling you, right? The feeling you, the reader gets when you read a story. Examples could be you're happy, you're sad, you're peaceful, you're suspenseful, so on and so forth. So it's the emotional atmosphere or vibe the author creates. Okay, I just realized I don't have to have a 3 here, which is truly wonderful. So yours is going to look a little bit different, a little bit better spacing. So, 2. It helps the reader identify with the writer and characters by causing readers to feel the same emotions, okay, as the writer or characters. If Stephen King does a great job of this. Stephen King makes you feel afraid as you're reading his books. You feel the fear that the characters are feeling, and there's nothing like it. I had never read Stephen King before, and everyone was trying to tell me, oh my gosh, the way he writes things, you feel the fear. And it's just because he just builds up the characters and builds up the world and builds up the environment so much that by the time, sometimes he takes a while. He's a long-winded guy. But by the time the horror starts, you are so invested in these characters that you feel like you're the one getting attacked by Pennywise the clown. Hint, hint, not a clown. Or you feel like you're being stalked by a vampire in Salem's Lot, so on and so forth. So moving into the 3 steps to finding the mood. There's 3 ways mood is developed. And so 1, you're not really typing much here, so bear with me, but you have setting. Okay, for example, the classic, it was a dark and stormy night, sets up a frightening feeling. So I want you to describe a setting that would imply a cheerful mood. Please don't just write it 1 word. Please write 1 to 2 sentences so that you can really give me a cheerful mood. Remember those adjectives that help us show off that mood. And then the second way, of course, we've already talked about, but just addressing it again, is tone. So sometimes the author's attitude about a subject translates to the mood. Oftentimes it translates to the mood. It's really hard for an author's tone to not come up in their writing, especially nonfiction. So the author is excited about being in love and creates a happy and joyful mood in Walking on Sunshine. So I want you to think of a song that creates a sorrowful or sad mood, and then just write out that song there. And then the last way that we will get mood is from the genre. Now, all of these can lead to mood. It doesn't have to just be a one-size-fits-all thing. All of them can give you the mood. But the genre, so, horror genre, you're going to be scared. A mystery genre, you're going to be suspicious, so on and so forth. So what is a genre that can create a cheerful and happy mood? Please provide the genre and then an example. When I say an example, I just mean you write me an example of the genre that you decided. So we are scrolling down here, and we are going to watch this clip on our own from Inside Out. You have to go digital to find this and fill in the chart below. And I just don't want you, obviously anger. He's angry. I don't want you to write that. Give me another thing, okay? Now, what's going to be interesting is the mood might be different. I know some people find fear to be so funny, so he might make you laugh. And joy annoys me, so she might annoy you like she annoys me. And then the second thing for your practice here, after I've checked your notes, is there are 2 Frozen clips. Last year I tried to do this and my Frozen clip didn't work, but I found one that does work now. This is the original trailer, and then this is the new made-up trailer. Okay, as always, guys, thanks for watching. We need to get these mood and tone notes done. We're going to go into spooky story season, at least 1 spooky story next week called Click Clack the Rattle Bag. I'd like to do another, but we'll just see if we have time because we might have to jump into nonfiction. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, please, as always, never hesitate to ask. Bye, everybody.